Today. Now, going over to the Culture Pod podcast, you have Bud Light Folds of Honor tweet, well, mostly folds flat. Now, Folds of Honor is a great nonprofit helping a lot of veterans, and prior, Bud Light was pretty good at driving revenue and helping, drive donations to that organization. And truth be told, I've seen them in a couple of veteran events my IT company has sponsored previously in the past, and they seem to have a lot of good employees at Folds of Honor. Now, that being said, I don't know how good they are at marketing because they're continuing their relationship with Bud Light when right now, Bud Light is basically toxic waste for a brand. It could only bring your brand down. I mean, they're spending more money than they ever had before on marketing, and yet, turns out having a trans activist as a spokesman selling beer to children is not a smart thing to do. They spent $185,000 giving Dylan Mulvaney a single can of Bud Light with Dylan's face plastered on it to celebrate 365 days of being a woman, and they lost about $1.4 billion in sales, which, again, that perhaps is the largest negative return on investment in business history in terms of a marketing campaign. Think about that. You spend $185,000 and you lose $1.5 billion. That's almost unprecedented. Needless to say, that can, I almost feel like Harrison Ford, it belongs in a museum. I mean, that should be a use case for businesses for decades to learn upon in terms of understanding not just, the morally vacuous thing of trying to sell a product to a child that's not appropriate, such as alcohol, but also knowing your clients and AKA reading the room and hiring the right people. Their VP of Marketing, Alicia Heiderchild, will certainly be remembered. Now, this little post from Bud Light, they actually did do one thing right, which, granted, the bar is so low, them doing anything right actually does impress me. Now, they actually did successfully tag the social media profile of Folds of Honor, which, interestingly enough, they didn't do that successfully with a couple of celebrities that, again, they're paying hundreds of millions of dollars for all these celebrities and all these different brands. And about half the time, they don't successfully tag the people, which, again, that's like social media 101, one would think. Now, they have a picture of, what is this guy named? Zach Bryan with an acoustic guitar and black jeans, apparently. Which, again, as we all know, men should always suit up, and on the occasion, blue jeans are, of course, appropriate. But maybe it's the photo, but it looks like black jeans, which there's a time and place for everything. I'm surprised he's actually in public on a stage, allegedly singing. It's not a video clip, it's just a picture. Now, the text before the picture says, quote, "To celebrate hitting the road with Zach Bryan and Folds of Honor on the Quittin' Time Tour, we're giving away tickets to see him live. Chat with him on our Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win," unquote. Which, again, perhaps the people in marketing at Bud Light are inebriated and drinking Bud Light, so perhaps they're just too drunk to do a job with a modicum of intelligence, but they didn't have links. So they're telling you to win these tickets, which, again, that might be a good opportunity. I'm not sure how many people like Zach Bryan. I mean, heaven forbid, it'd be kind of ironic or sad if you won the ticket, but in order to, participate, you had to drink a Bud Light. I mean, heaven forbid, that would certainly sour the situation. But they didn't leave the links to actually chat with their Facebook and Instagram team for a chance to win. So, again, this is a huge burden on the prospective client, or in this case, the sweepstakes, so the people who want to win this. Because, again, you want to make this as convenient as possible. I mean, it's no different than when I'm trying to drive attendance for an event for my cybersecurity company, and we'll say, hey, we're doing cigars and cybersecurity, or we're doing shoots full auto suppress security fears. Every single time I do that, it takes not even 2 seconds to put the URL for the registration link to take you to that page to register. And yet they couldn't take 2 or 3 seconds to put the links to chat with their Facebook or Instagram. Because, again, that's how you win the tickets. So in order to do that, you now have to go to a separate app. You have to type in their social media, and then you have to start chatting with them. So you're adding steps and complexity, and you're just increasing the threshold, making it, and again, it doesn't sound that burdensome or not, it doesn't sound that hard, but again, you're trying to entice a consumer to, you want to make it as simple and easy as possible. And yet, they seem to just make lives harder on themselves. Now, in terms of the feedback, it looks like not very many people liked it. So within, again, this is earlier last week, it got only 11,000 views, which again, for a multi-billion-dollar brand is basically nothing. And yet, only 81 people liked it, which is almost mathematically seemingly impossible because allegedly they have more than 51 or 81, in this case, people working at Anheuser-Busch InBev. Allegedly, there's more than 81 fans of Zach Bryan, and there's more than 81 fans of Folds of Honor, and yet only 81 people actually liked it. And interestingly enough, this is even more pathetic, they only got 16 comments, which usually when they're giving away free products and services, they get hundreds of comments because people want to, I don't know if these are real people or bots, but allegedly there's hundreds of people who want to win cases of Bud Light, which I don't know if they're just depressed or it's a hard time in their life or they need some type of harsh chemical to surround their house with to ward off the demons and the thieves, perhaps. That I'm trying to think of a legitimate use case for actually having Bud Light in the household. Good way to drive people out if you want to wrap up a party, perhaps. You're having a fun party and it's time you want people to leave. You don't have to actually tell them to leave. Just bust out a case of Bud Light and they all see that and go, sorry, John or Kevin, we got to get going. It's time to go. So perhaps that might be a good use case for it. But going to the comments, most of them are pretty bad. Now, interestingly enough, talk about unpopular, but I would also argue a great observation. Well, not really. Now, I actually said Folds of Honor is a great organization. It'll be interesting to see what the post ratio will be, unquote. No one liked it, but I said it, thought I'd be interested. And that, again, is my social media profile for Twitter for this show. It's the Topping Show. Now, the first comment that actually gets any likes at all is from Julia Broderick. She simply said, not an apology, unquote, getting 12 likes. Now you have, let's see here, a couple of people doing the easy wishes hashtag sweepstakes, which, again, there has to be an automated feature, some type of automation, because they're not asking you to do this to win these particular tickets. Cajun Youngstrom says, chat with who, unquote, getting 1 like. Bow-tied Peasant says, quote, your brand is dead. Just cut your losses, unquote, getting 7 likes. You have Nicholas Brown saying go woke, go broke, getting 0 likes, but 4 views. Will says, congratulations, you will be forever associated with it, unquote, getting 4 likes, which, again, it being a reference to Dylan Mulvaney. Apollo says, quote, it would be easier to make a commercial with women in bikinis, unquote, getting 2 likes, which, again, given the track record of success, again, they were the number 1 selling beer for 20 years. That's unprecedented success. And it was the easiest job on the planet for the marketing department. All they had to do was have sexy women in bikinis with a Bud Light and have Bud Light logos at sports balls, games, and country music shows. Like that was working for 20 plus years. And yet Alyssa Hireschild, she came on the staff and she actually said, quote, we think Bud Light is a fratty brand. We want to change that, unquote. She certainly did change and have a phenomenally large impact on the company, to say the least. Hilariously enough, she deleted her LinkedIn. She was very proud to be the first female VP at the company, or marketing executive. Now you have Apollo saying go woke, go broke, and that got 2 likes. Then you have the show additional replies, including those that make it offensive content, which, of course, the bonus button, we're going to click that. And we see River City Dude. I don't know if it's actually pejorative. It's just someone, a gal in glasses, and it's just a gif of her saying very gay. No one liked it. But that was a super secret hidden comment. And again, it didn't really drive much engagement. Not a lot of people liked it. And I mean, culturally speaking, the brand is certainly just continuing to suffer, even though, again, they're just spending more and more money on marketing, kind of trying to replicate the old marketing success. But, I mean, they changed everything with that brand endorsement with Dylan Mulvaney. And again, they haven't addressed the elephant or the Dylan in the room, which, again, the top comment we see periodically covering this for almost a year is people want an apology. Now, I don't think the CEO and former CIA operative Brendan Whitworth would actually give one, but I do think if they were to do that, they would gain some sales back. Probably won't be the 30% sales, or by some metrics, 50% sales in some cases that they've lost, but I think they get a fair amount of their sales back. So let me know in the comments, do you think it's too late at this point to actually give out an apology for trying to sell beer to kids and hiring Dylan Mulvaney? Or do you think that would do a little bit of good? And then when was the last time you tuned into the Zach Bryan band? And would you go to a Zach Bryan concert if you had to drink a Bud Light? Like, instead of buying a ticket, you had to show up and you had to drink a beer in order to get in. Would you do that, or would you simply walk away in horror? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Sharing it also does help with magical YouTube algorithms. Also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone Just stay safe and fight the good fight.